Good morning, everybody. Today is March 10th, 2022. It is a beautiful Thursday. I hope everybody's settled in. I'm very comfortable in my chair. So today I wanted to talk to you about something that is on everybody's mind. We are getting an overwhelming amount of phone calls, understandably so. People are panicked, people are worried. We're going to talk about Refugee Resettlement Program. So let's kick things off by stating what a refugee is. Now, a refugee is a person who is currently outside of their home country, who is unable or unwilling to return because of prosecution they've suffered or a fear of persecution based on race, religion, nationality, political opinion, or belonging to a particular social group. Okay? So, even if a person is running away from a conflict, yes, they are refugee in a global sense, but that doesn't mean that they fit into the definition that has been established by the international community. Okay? Now, a person who is applying for refugee status is by definition outside of United States. If you are within United States border, you are applying for asylum. I understand that the outcome is the same, but the technical definitions and the process you go through are very different. As we know, if you don't know, I'm telling you, Biden administration has announced that they will accept 125,000 refugees. They are not specified to any country. 125 refugees is a total number that the United States is going to accept in a fiscal year. These are people that can be from Ukraine, from Afghanistan, from other countries. So it is not exclusive to the most recent conflict or an ongoing conflict, right? Unfortunately, our big blue planet is filled with conflict and there is millions of refugees, but our country is going to accept only 125,000. Even that number is very optimistic because the infrastructure that is required to accept and resettle refugees is not very robust in the United States. And it is highly likely that the end number of people who are actually going to come under refugee resettlement program is going to be fewer than the 125,000 people. Now, how does the process work? You do not apply directly to the United States as a refugee. There is a United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees, right? It is a department, it is a place that is under the United Nations jurisdiction. A refugee, once they're outside of their home country, would make an application to United Nations Commissioner for Refugee, High Commissioner for Refugee. They have first the ability to determine whether a person will even be designated as refugee. Yes, you're running away from a conflict, from war, from devastation, but that is different than a legal definition of refugee. So in the first place, there has to be a determination that you actually are a refugee. Let's say it is determined that you are a refugee. Then then they are working on one of the following solutions. One, and the most preferable one, is to have the person safely return to their home country. If that is not possible or available, then local resettlement of where they already are. If that is not available, they can apply to be accepted by one of the countries who is accepting refugees. Okay? The people go through a very rigorous vetting program. Let's say all of the documents and all of the vetting and everything has been completed. You're looking at a process that in general takes 18 to 24 months, right? So it doesn't happen overnight, doesn't happen over a week, 18 to 24 months. Only after that, if you've gone through all those steps, your information would be sent to United States, where there are multiple departments that work together to accept, vet, and resettle refugees. The first one is called the U.S. Refugee Admissions Program. They work closely together with the Department of State and the Department of Homeland Security. It is a joint effort. People go through rigorous background checks, medical examinations, vetting processes. And only once that is completed, then their information is sent to USCIS. They arrive in the United States, where they are formally become refugees in the United States. And then they work again together with multiple agencies to make them self-sufficient and to integrate them into the United States life. Again, even within the United States, there are multiple cities and towns, states. Some accept refugees, some do not accept refugees. You may be sent to a state in the Midwest, and so on and so forth. The biggest misconception that I found with people is that they think that you can just go directly and ask to be sent to the United States as a refugee, and then the process would take, over a short period of time. No, this process is very long, very, very tedious. The refugees go through multiple levels of vetting, documentation, biometrics, medicals, exams, and so on and so forth, right? So it's usually years before a family or an individual is resettled safely in another country, okay? So I know this is a lot of information. So what we did is we created a nice little blog with links to different agencies that I have just mentioned. And once I'm done here, I will post the link to our website blog where you can read in detail about the program and click and go to different links that also describe the program in the blog. It can also be found on our website. Okay, so even though all of our heart breaks and we want to help, there isn't always a possibility for help. Some good news is that the US government has said that Ukrainians who have arrived safely outside of Ukraine and who are applying for immigrant and non-immigrant visas will be able to do so through various embassies in Europe, Eastern Europe, Western Europe, and so on and so forth. Usually the rule is that, let's say you want a tourist visa or student visa and so on and so forth, you would have to attend the interview in the country where you hold citizenship, where you're domiciled legally. But that requirement has been waived. So let's say you're a Ukrainian citizen who is now safely in Moldova. You can make an application for whatever visa you're applying for at a U.S. embassy in Moldova, and they're not going to ask you to provide proof that you're legally residing in Moldova. Okay? That is what we have. Another announcement that we posted on all of our social media has to do directly with Ukrainians. The U.S. government, the Biden administration, has announced that they will be granting temporary protective status to Ukrainians currently residing on the territory of the United States. Now, we have posted a big post explaining what are the requirements that you need to meet in order to be eligible for TPS. And what is TPS? One of the biggest misconceptions that I'm finding is that people think that you can apply for that while you're outside of United States. You cannot. This is only protection from deportation. It is not a green card. It is not a citizenship. It is exactly what it sounds like. It is a temporary protective status that can be renewed so long as the administration, right, the government of the United States is designating Ukraine as a country, right, which citizens are eligible for this program in the United States. So it is a temporary program. But that being said, we have a lot of clients from Central America where their countries have been designated for TPS in the early 2000s, and they're continuing to receive the benefits from that early designation and having to register for the program in time. If you have any loved ones, if you know anyone, or if you yourself are undocumented here in United States and you are from Ukraine, you can contact our office. We will walk you through the requirements that you have to meet in order to apply for that program. The initial registration is not that long. You have to meet the guidelines. So if that's something you think you're eligible for, you gotta act now. So that's what we have. Okay, so that is a lot of information, right? Hopefully you're gonna find it helpful. But in order to help you sort through it, I'm going to link two things in the comments. One is going to be a blog with links about the Refugee Resettlement Program, and another will be an announcement by USCIS regarding the TPS for Ukrainians. Both of those links you will be able to find below. You can also find them on our social media and on our website, okay, www.cohentuckerlaw.com. If you have any questions, as always, please give us a call. We're happy to help. We have huge amounts of phone calls, understandably, but we try to get back to everybody in a timely manner. If we cannot accommodate your request for consultation immediately, we are trying to give you the next best available time. Okay, I'm happy to see everybody. I hope everybody's going to have a great weekend, and it's going to come closer to spring. Hopefully some sunshine, some nice weather. We definitely need some positive emotions in our lives to try and stay strong and positive. And I will see everybody next week at the same time. Thank you. Have a good day.